Hello everyone, this is Dr. Ashish Sharma from the Department of Physics, TBS College Kanpur, and in this video I will discuss about the electrical interaction and simple circuits and some fundamental definition of electric force and the fields. What if the charge in the motion, different type of batteries, bulb, and the definition of current, voltage, and power. Electric charge. So this is a fundamental particles which carry one property of the charge like electric charge. So protons and electric charge we defined on the basis of number of protons and the electrons and their disbalance. So in the at the very ground level the protons have exactly one unit of positive charge and electron have exactly one unit of negative charge. So if we say something is positive, so it means that it has a deficiency of the electrons, and if something is negative, which means it is enriched with the number of electrons. And based on the charges, we have the defined force is electromagnetic force, which is very basic interaction in the nature. Like we read about the gravity, so it's similar to the gravity, like charges the charges also experience repulsive force unlike gravity, but opposite charges attract to each other, which happens with the in the gravity also. Like in the gravity we always have the attractions, but there isn't any repulsive force in the gravity. So this is kind of a something difference in between electromagnetic force and the gravity. And electric current flows when electrons are in the motion. So the flow of the charges is defined as the electric current. Charge balance. So neutral atoms are made of equal quantities of positive and the negative charges. Like if we talk about the carbon, which have six number of protons and six electrons, and six neutrons. So since a neutron doesn't carry any charges, so we define the nature of carbon on the basis of protons and the electrons. So we have six proton and six electron, which defines the carbon as a neutron. And electron can be stripped of atoms. Like there are many method we can knock out the electron from the atom. So electron occupy the vulnerable outskirts of the atoms, as like it is in the outer shell of any atom. So usually charge flow in such a way as to maintain the neutrality. Neutrality means zero. I mean total is zero. So excess positive charges attract excess negative charges, and our body have 5 to 10 to power 28 positive charges and 5 to 20 10 to power 28 negative charges, which are balanced. So and it and these are actually sometimes, as we know, like we comb our hairs and all, so we lose some of the electrons, but that balanced within trillions. So 1 trillion is very very small compared to 10 to power 28, and like less than 1 by fourth of the total charge is unbalanced. So here I will define about the Coulomb law. So like as we know the very basic fundamental definition here, like charges repel each other and opposite charges attract each other. So here we have the green color circle are as positive charges and red color circle is negative charges. So as you see, on the top line, like two green charges are there. They are of the similar positive charges and they are repelling each other. And the second lines we have one positive, one negative, and they are attracting each other. Like the direction of arrow are opposite to each other. And in the last diagram we have the similar charges and the direction of arrows are in the opposite direction, they are repelling each other. If we consider the distance between two charges is small r, so if charges are of the same magnitude and the same separation, all the force will be of the same magnitude with the different direction. So in these uh, all three configuration we have, if they are placed at the same distance, so we have the same electro electrostatic force, but only the difference is their direction. So the definition of electrostatic force is if we have two charges q1 and q2 and they are separated by distance r. So we have electrostatic forces F is equal to k q1 q2 upon r square, where k is a constant which has the value of 9 cross 10 to the power 9. Q is in the coulombs, r is in the meters. So here if the value of q is 1 and they are placed at the distance of 1 meter, so then we have the value of F is equal to, so here the concept of 1 newton, so we can easily define the value of F. If we have k is k, we have constant, q1 q2 is the value of 1, r is equal to 1. And so as we know, like q is the charge of electron. So here if q is equal to 1, which is the 1 electron, and 1 electron has the charge of 1.6 cross 10 to the power minus 19 coulombs. It looks like a Newton's gravitational in form. Like in the Newton's law also we have g m1 m2 upon r square. So there is also r square, inverse square law formula, and here also we have inverse square law formula. So electron and proton attract each other like 10 to the power 40 times stronger electrically than gravitationally. So if we compare, like we have electron and proton both have the masses as well as charge also. So there are two types of force. One is the electrostatic force, another one is the gravitational force. So here the electrostatic force is very higher than the gravitational force, and it is 10 to the power 40 times stronger than gravitational force. So here in the last bullet line is typical finger spark involve the exchange of the trillion electrons, or about 10 to the power minus 7 coulombs. So like these numbers are very high. So we generally define the balance in terms of the trillions of the electrons. So yeah, so generally we don't see any, if like if we lose one electron, two electron, three electron, we don't see any such kind of a difference. But when the difference is in the number of electron trillions, then we see such kind of a difference in the charge imbalance. So Coulomb's force law. So double one of the charges, like force is double if our charge is double, and change sign if one of the charges, which also change the force direction. And if we change the sign of the both charges, so force stays the same. Like if we have positive and negative, they have the both the force is the same. And if we double the distance between charges, and our for like if we make r is equal to 2r, then our force will be reduced to 4 times weaker. And if we double the both charges, so we have the forces 4 times, like q1 q2, if we replace q1 is with 2q and q2 with 2q, then we have 4q, and this is the 4 times than our initial force. Electric field, and the electric field, like the charges are moving and there is at the surrounding there is some kind of field. Like whenever the force is there, on the basis of that force we have the a field associated with this force. And in the electrostatic force we have the electric field. And electric field, this tells that particles which way to move and how fast they will move in that particular electric field. So here we have one positive charge and one positive charge coming from infinity. And yeah, so the direction of, as we can see around this positive charge, is away from the positive charge. Like in the all direction the field is spreading. Electric field lines tells a positive charge which way to move. And like in the we have the second positive charge, and we can easily say like which direction this positive charge will move if we have one stationary charge at the center. For example, a positive charge itself has a field line pointing away from it, because this is how a positive charge test particle would respond if placed in the vicinity. So we have the repulsive force. So the second charge, like at a small circle, this will move away from the positive charge because of the presence of the electric field from the first charge. Yeah, so we have the runaway of the charge. So now we are comparing analogy to gravity field. So on the surface of the earth, the force due to gravity F is equal to mg, where g is the gravitational acceleration, and this is pointing towards the earth and tells how to move. Like if we something is throw, so on the base of the gravity, this will come to earth somehow. Since we know the gravity is F is equal to g mm upon r square, so acceleration due to gravity is independent of the mass of the test body, and electric force F is equal to k q small q upon r square. So also electric field is just like E is equal to kq upon r square. So both are following the inverse square law. So Q is the charge analog to mass. E is the analog to gravitational acceleration, tells how a test charge will respond, and unit of E, work output of the volts per meter. So this is volt per meter is the unit of E, electric field. So example electric fields around charges. So as we can see in the figure, like we have positive charges, the electric field is away from the positive charge, and the negative charge case the field is towards the center. And the field of the two charges has a complicated shape. Each charge disturbs the field of the other. So this is the case once we have the two charges, like in that C figure, we have positive and negative two charges, and the electric field lines are shown. So here, as you can see, the lines are going away from the positive charge and ending at negative charge. And also in the last diagram, we have two positive charges, and the lines are away from the positive charges, and they are meeting at infinity. Like the previous picture conveyed the direction but did not account for 1 upon r square strength of the electric field. The electric field lines, like as we know, the if we have r is increasing, the E will start to reduce. So at the high distance, the E will start to get weaker. So this picture shows a electric field vectors at 24 points in space around a negative charges. So as we can see here, like at like the corners of this figure, I mean it's the say if we at the boundary line, the lines are the length of the lines are showing the magnitude of the electric field. So we have very small lines, but around the negative charges the width of the line is increasing, and if we getting away from the negative charges, the width of the line is decreasing. So this is the mean that electric field magnitude is decreasing, and it is high at the close to negative charge. And now after studying about the charges, how we define the electric current. Electric current is the flow of the charges. So electrons flowing in a wire constant constitute a current. So this measured coulombs per second, like number of charges crossing per unit area, and this is the ampere is defined as coulombs per second. So electrons have a charge of minus 1.6 10 to the power minus 19 coulombs. So 1 coulomb is 6. So 1 coulomb has 6 cross 10 to the power 18 electrons, and 1 ampere is 6 cross 10 to the power 18 electrons crossing per second. Electrons flow in the direction opposite to the current. So this is a very fundamental concept in the electric field, electric current. And since current is implicitly positive charges flow, but electrons are negative. So like the electric current flow to the direction of the proton and opposite direction of the electrons. So how will you just to get that the light bulb will start to glow? So for that we have the following few things are there. So one is the cell, second is the bulb, and piece of wire. So will this diagram will work? So will we, like if we connect one terminal of the cell to the bulb, so will the bulb will glow? I would And with this configuration, will it glow? If we just remove the wire and connect directly bulb uh, terminal of the bulb to the cell directly, and would this work? Like there are three configuration, as we can see in the three figures, and this is the last one. Here the bulb is directly connected to the cell, and wire is connected to another terminal. So this is a kind of a closed circuit. Like for in case of cell, we have one terminal is connected to the bulb, and the negative terminal is connected by a wire to the bulb. So this is a closed circuit. So circuit in the diagram form, like we have the battery and the bulb. So one terminal is connected to the positive terminal of the bulb, and negative terminal of the battery is connected to the second terminal of the bulb. So this is a closed circuit. So here now the current will start to flows, because it is require always a closed circuit. So electron flows opposite the direction, in opposite the indicated current direction. And this is the, as I already described about the current will flow opposite to the direction of current. So the thing which we get to know from this, that there should be closed circuit for the flow of the current. If there isn't a closed circuit, then current will never flow. So current is the central concept. It sometimes helps to think of the current as a flow of water, like the water flows, and same way the current flows, which is more familiar to us. High currents means lot of water flow per unit time. Low current means more like a trickle. In electrons, it is the flow of the charge, not of water. In electronics, it is the flow of the charge, not water, that is described by the word current. And it is always electrons doing the flowing. Thus, electronics. We call it electronics. This branch of the physics is called electronics. So here, like this is one very basic example. We have two bulbs A and B, and both bulbs are connected to the battery in parallel configuration. So now the question comes: how much would the current flow through the battery, and how it changes if we unscrewed one of the two bulbs? Like if we get removed out of two bulb, like after removing B, will A will glow fast or more brighter, or if we remove A, will B will bright more? So answer is, the battery is supplying an equal amount of current to each other of the two bulbs. If one of the bulb is disconnected, the current through the battery will be halved. So if we remove the B, this would not affect the current through the A. So it will stay the same brightness. So there won't be change of any brightness even if we remove any of the two bulb. So why wouldn't more current flow through A? Because the battery does not provide the constant current actually. So it does not means, like in the previous figure, we have like 50 ampere, and the 50 ampere is going to A and B. Like A is consuming 25 and B is consuming 25. So this is not the concept like this. Like current is not providing by the battery. So the battery is providing the voltage actually instead of current. So battery do not supply current. Borrelia battery supplied a constant voltage. So D cell is about provides 1.5 volts. So what is voltage? Voltage is much like a potential energy. The higher the voltage, the more work can be done. It takes 1 joule to push 1 coulomb through 1 volt. So a voltage is a joule per coulomb. So these are the basic definition of voltage, current and power. 1 volt is joule per coulomb. 1 ampere of current is the 1 coulomb per second. If I have 1 volt and 1 ampere, then multiplying gives joules per second. This is called the power. So power is P is equal to V into I, and power is defined as voltage into current. So more work is done per unit time, the higher the voltage and or higher the current. Like if we have the high value of either voltage or current, we have higher power is required. Thank you.